Now, on to stupid take number 2 of the day. And it's going to be fun to just go over some basics of a law. Bing, bang, 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 bang. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, here we go. Ethan Klein, H3H3. Ethan is so looking for inconsistencies in ideological adversaries' logic that he abandons all logic himself. Or at the very least, provides snippets of information, not enough to come to any conclusion, but enough to dupe some people into thinking that there's a double standard somewhere. Here we go. Dear free speech champions, I think he's talking to me. Let me see, we're in the same thing here. Yeah. He has to be talking to me because I am and we should also distinguish between free speech and protected speech. They mean the same thing, but sometimes they're used interchangeably. Protected speech is what's important, not unlimited free speech to run around shouting whatever you want, whenever you want, and making threats and defaming people. Dear free speech champions that defended Andrew Tate, tell me what you think about this. Okay, let's hear it. I just got a cease and desist letter from Andrew Tate. Oh, didn't realize that when you support free speech, it means you support total absence of any laws whatsoever. I didn't realize that. Oh, if you support free speech, you've got to support my right to threaten somebody's life. I mean, you have to. That's what free speech means, right, Ethan Klein? I just got a cease and desist letter from Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's been in the news recently because he was deplatformed overnight, purportedly for being dangerous and putting out dangerous messaging. He demands I stop talking about him. Something me thinks this is an inaccurate description of reality. He demands I stop talking about him because I can imagine you go to a lawyer and you say, lawyer, make him stop talking about me. And the lawyer writes a cease and desist letter that says, Dear Ethan Klein, stop talking about my client, a public figure who's been in the headline. Stop talking about him. Do therefore govern yourselves accordingly. That's exactly what the lawyer's letter said. No doubt. Hashtag sarcasm. Thoughts? Well, okay. Let me see how far down my response was here. Well, I just asked, what is Tate alleging? You said that is potentially unlawful, because you do have to bear in mind the limitations to protected speech have to be lawful. They have to be criminal or civil limitations on what you can say with impunity. Did you publicly accuse him of having committed crimes? Were you attempting to interfere in contracts to which you are not a party, also known as tortious interference with contracts? Did you joke about bombing him like he did with the NRA? Remember that joke that Ethan Klein said? Oh, let's go B-O-M-B, the NRA. And I was just joking. It was just a joke. And then, they immediately, I forget what his wife's name is. They immediately knew he done messed up. They have to try to backtrack. And then in his backtrack and fault, it was just a joke. He made it exponentially worse. For anybody who's seen the entire clip, it went from a dumb comment that he says, don't do it, I was just joking, to let's B-O-M-B them with love. Yeah, that's it. Go blow up the place with love. He made the reality of his stupid comment even worse with the bigger clip that most people haven't actually seen. So that was my question. Did he say, did Ethan Klein say, go B-O-M-B Andrew Tate's house or something like that? I didn't know when I put this tweet out. I just had a sneaking suspicion. Lo and behold, I found the tweet, or at least I suspect one of the tweets that could possibly have led to a lawyer's letter. So brave this is in response to Tucker Carlson having Andrew Tate on. So brave to have this sex trafficking, violent misogynist. So you know what I said? The only one of the three here that had you just said the violent misogynist, probably wouldn't be a problem because everyone would know that he's being hyperbolic. Matter of opinion. Even with the others, he'll make the argument. Well, it's what I think, and I'm being hyperbolic. And we're going to get into the Tucker Carlson defense because it's kind of relevant to this. There's something called defamation per se. There's something called tortious interference with business contracts, tortious interference with prospective business economic opportunities. When you are accusing someone of crimes that could get them deplatformed and arguably have been weaponized for the purposes of getting not necessarily Andrew Tate, but others deplatformed. Sorry, Ethan Klein, you're not just talking about someone. You're trying to destroy someone economically, reputationally, on social media. I don't know if this is the tweet that was referenced in the letter where Tate's lawyers told Ethan Klein to stop talking about him. I suspect it might have been. Now let's steel man this all here, people. So brave to have this criminal schmapist on. Some people are going to say, "Oh, I'm going to invoke the Tucker Carlson defense." Do we all remember? Do we all remember the Tucker Carlson defense? When I say I'm saying facts, I'm not saying facts. It's the same thing as the Rachel Maddow defense. Let me pull up the article. Dave. Oh, no, that's not it. There, Tucker Carlson. You literally can't believe the facts Tucker Carlson tells you. So say Fox's lawyers. Now, this was in the context, for those who don't recall, where Tucker was talking about women who were trying to get Trump in trouble, made some accusations against him, and said, "Pay us and we'll be quiet." Let me just make sure I'm actually summarizing that. Tucker Carlson appears to be made of Teflon, Fox News, yada, yada. He's been accused of anti-immigrant and racist comments, which, okay, that's not the one. Carlson even attacked his own network's chief news anchor on air with no real consequences. Okay. Now comes claims that you can't expect to literally believe the words that come out of Carlson's mouth. It was fine when it was Rachel Maddow that got off the hook, but not fine when Tucker Carlson did. And I'll say for both of them, same rationale, same argument. That's the assertion coming from Carlson's critics. It's being made by a federal judge in the Southern District of New York and by Fox News' own lawyers in defending Carlson against accusations of slander. It worked, by the way. The judge, leaning heavily on the argument of Fox's lawyers, the general tenor of the show would then inform a viewer that Carlson is not stating actual facts about the topics he discusses and is instead engaging in exaggeration and non-literal commentary. This was when he accused these women of extortion, which is a crime. He says they asked for money for hush-hush money. This is extortion. And they sued and said, this is defamatory, slanderous. You've accused us of a crime, extortion. We haven't been accused. We haven't been charged. We haven't been found guilty. And the defense worked. Now, there are contexts in which one can say, here's the pattern of behavior, and then throw out an accusation, which is necessarily a matter of opinion, or at the very least, contextually, clearly a matter of opinion. When you say, here's their conduct, it's extortion. But the claim was there and they lost. The claim in Tate's case, we want to bring up defamation per se. Defamation per se. When we're talking about, and then with the caveat of public figures, actual malice, defamation per se, libel per se is defamatory statement that is actionable in itself. To constitute libel per se, the words themselves must be damaging to the affected person. As a result, words that can reasonably be interpreted as having another meaning do not constitute per se, but they could be per quad, I believe is the alternative. Examples of per se include statements that falsely claim a person committed a crime of moral turpitude, and claims that a person suffers from a loathsome disease, an STD. Unlike a traditional action for libel, in action per se, malice is presumed. That would be the criteria for public figures, potentially. And damages may be recovered without the plaintiff needing to plead or prove special damages. However, such claims are subject to the defenses that the material, when read in context, would be perceived by a reasonable person to be nothing more than a matter of personal opinion. Flags, people, flags. When in context would be nothing more than a matter of personal opinion. That will be Ethan's defense if this ever goes anywhere further, which it probably won't. For example, in an action against a consumer who posted negative reviews on his website about a warranty provider, the court held that such reviews were of personal opinion and whatever, okay. Or, under the context, nothing more than a matter of personal opinion. When Tucker Carlson says they asked for money to be quiet based on fabricated accusations, it's extortion. He's clearly issuing an opinion, stating an opinion based on a set of facts. So getting back to Tate and did I close it? Getting back to Tate. Now look at this. The question's going to be, in context, Do we think that Ethan Klein is being hyperbolic, issuing a statement of opinion, or making a statement of fact that is quite clearly susceptible of damaging someone's reputation? I appreciate, apparently Tate's under investigation in the UK. Under investigation still does not allow you to make certain statements of fact as though there's been a conviction. But in this tweet here, do we read this as hyperbolic, necessarily a matter of opinion, or do we read this as defamatory and potentially attempting to interfere with Tate's contracts with others? Potentially trying to subject Tate to scorn, ridicule, public hatred, and get him canceled. Arguable. One thing is not arguable. I just got a cease and desist letter from Tate. He demands that I stop talking about him. Yeah, that's not exactly what's going on there, Ethan. And just, scratching the surface with 2 minutes of interweb research can reveal that. Whether or not you can invoke the Tucker Carlson defense, I suspect you probably could. No one takes Ethan Klein seriously to begin with. I suspect that might be a defense. But let's not pretend to be the victims of our own conduct.